Hi, I'm Carl with Apt, and in this video we're going to be taking an in-depth look at Sony's two new flagship TVs side by side, the Z9F and the A9F. We were really excited to finally get these two into the store so we could take a good look at them together, and we want to hear from you in the comments section, so make sure you let us know which you like better after you watch this video. We'll talk about their similarities and differences and talk about the reasons that you might want one over the other. So let's start off with the stuff that's the same. Both are part of Sony's 2018 Master Series lineup, which means they both have the X1 Ultimate processor, which is twice as fast as the processor it's replacing, the X1 Extreme. And that's significant because the X1 Extreme, being as good as it is, could recognize up to 15 individual images on the screen to improve detail, color, contrast management, and HDR upscaling. And the new X1 Ultimate can do hundreds, which gives a totally upgraded picture in every aspect. The new 4K HDR super bit mapping and triluminous technology also do a great job smoothing out lines and things like sunsets and shadowy areas, which makes the picture seem more natural as well. They weren't bad on the previous generations of these sets. In fact, they were pretty good, but they're even better now. They both also have the new Netflix calibration, which you can check out in more depth, in more detail in our other video dedicated to that specific feature. And the new Android O operating system, which runs far more smoothly than the previous Android OS that Sony's been running over the past few years. They can both also act as Google Assistant without even having to pick up the TV's remote. You just say, "Hey Google," and they start listening. And for anyone who doesn't want their TV listening to them, you do have the option to turn this off if you choose. Now, here's where the similarities end and the differences start. Obviously, the designs are different. The A9F has the easel-style pedestal that holds it upright. This isn't my favorite design, as it's quite a bit more difficult to move around if you ever need to, and it also causes the screen to tilt upwards very slightly. The tilt isn't a big deal since OLEDs aren't really affected by off-angle viewing anyway, but if you ever need to move the TV from one spot to another, you'd better make sure to hang on to the little rubber feet that Sony provides out of the box. Don't throw those away. The Z9F has traditional pedestal feet that hold it upright, along with a really nice cable management system. The only thing you need to remember about this one is the feet are set pretty widely apart, so you'll want to make sure that your stand is wide enough. If you're wall mounting either set, you'll be happy with both, as they both have really sophisticated designs that look great on the wall. Inputs are the same on each two, with the exception being that the A9F has analog audio inputs, since you can use the acoustic sound glass system as a center channel in a larger sound system. And I'll touch on the sound for a moment too. There's no comparison here. If you're looking for a TV that you don't need to supplement with any additional sound, you'll want the A9F. It's night and day different, and I don't think there's anybody out there that'll disagree with me on that one. The A9F has two built-in small subwoofers, as well as the acoustic glass sound technology that I mentioned before, with 3 actuators to provide a 3.2 channel setup, which means you get way better bass and vocals. The Z9F has a 2-channel system powered by 20 watts of power. Thankfully, the picture more than makes up for the sound on this one. And speaking of pictures, this is where there's going to be some arguing. And I'll start by saying both of these offer great pictures, but they're different. The OLED does a terrific job with really dark scenes, as you can get that perfect black since each pixel can kind of shut off individually. However, the screen doesn't get as bright. The Z9F struggles ever so slightly with really deep shadows, but it's great with bright scenes. So technically, the Z9F is going to have a higher contrast ratio, but that doesn't matter if you're looking for the deepest black levels. So if you're putting the TV in a room where you can control the light well, the A9F is going to be a great option. If it's going in a room that's going to get a lot of light and you don't have as much control, the Z9F may be your better choice. Motion is another aspect of the picture that we'll touch on for a minute. The A9F, in my opinion, looks very slightly smoother. The Z9F still does a great job, but the A9F just seems more natural to me. Now, the other thing to consider is how you're going to be using the TV. If you're someone who loves to play video games, I'd suggest going with the Z9F. The A9F, although it's got tech built in to help prevent it, can still develop image retention. It's not a major issue like it was on early OLED sets, but because of the technology, it can happen in certain cases. So to sum it all up, these both share some great new features like their picture processing, updated OS, and Netflix calibration mode. I'd say the Z9F is best for people who do a lot of gaming, have a bright room where the TVs are going, or have an existing sound system that they'll be hooking up to. If you're looking for a TV that's going to give you the deepest blacks, it's going in a room where you have control over the lighting, or you want a TV that you don't have to add extra sound to, make sure you consider the A9F. What are your thoughts on the two? Make sure you let us know in the comments. As always, we appreciate you watching our video, and don't forget to click the links in the description to see current pricing on these two TVs and to subscribe to our channel to get updates whenever we post new content.